Little silent train this time. That was a silent train sideways knee, wasn't it?
You know, when I was in college, I found out that Doc Ellis threw a no-hitter while under the influence of LSD. And I happened to have some baseball cards that I had collected when I was a little bit younger. And I had this particular card, Doc Ellis in action. You guys remember the in action cards? The guy would have his regular card, and then there was a subset, maybe 35 or 40 cards, so-and-so in action. And I suppose when I was in college, I got the funny idea of clipping a little strip of paper that I pasted over the inaction, and I wrote on it, on acid. So it's a Doc Ellis on acid. Doc Ellis, on June 12, 1970, thought his team had a day off. They did not. Doc Ellis also thought that his team was still in Los Angeles, but they were not. They had moved on to San Diego, and according to the newspaper that Doc's girlfriend pulled in from outside the front door, Doc Ellis was scheduled to pitch that night. The only problem, well, not the only problem, because one problem was that he was in Los Angeles and the team was in San Diego, but the other problem, even more significant, I think, was the fact that he had taken LSD, stayed up the entire night, and in the morning took even more. So back then you could probably buy a plane ticket for about $4.50 from Los Angeles to San Diego. And when he landed in San Diego, he had to make his way to the ballpark, and then he had to explain to the manager why he was showing up just before game time on the day he was supposed to pitch. That's a big no-no. Now, Doc told his manager he wasn't feeling so good, tried to get out of pitching, and the manager said, "Doc, you're it. You're all we have. It's you." So Doc Ellis, that afternoon, sucked it up and threw a no-hitter. And this is a true story.
It was a lovely summer's morning, an off day in L.A. So thought when Doc Ellis, as he would later say, his girlfriend read the paper. She said, "Doc, this can't be right. It says here that you're pitching in San Diego tonight. You got to get to the airport." So off Doc Ellis flew. His legs were a little bit wobbly and the rest of him was too. Took a taxi to the ballpark an hour before the game. Gave a half-assed explanation. Found a locker with his name. The organ in the upper deck played all the schmaltzy hits. You could hear it in the clubhouse while Doc was getting dressed. His sunglasses he reached for from his locker in the case. Doc Ellis put his jersey on and he put them on his face. Time came to go on out there, down the corridor. The walls were a little bit wavy and there were ripples on the floor. Went out to the bullpen, do a bunch of stretches, loosen up a little, throw some warm-up pitches. National anthem, people took off their hats, fireworks were exploding and the cokes were already going flat. Doc was back there in the dugout, so many things to watch. Some players spit tobacco juice and others grabbed their crotch. And the umpire hollered, "Play ball," and so it came to be. Doc's Pirates batted first when they went down 1-2-3. Doc's catcher put his mask on and he handed Doc the ball, and it was 327 feet to the left and right field walls. Pirates took the field then. Doc stood on the rubber and he bounced a couple of pitches and he bounced a couple of others. You might say about that day that it looked a little wild. The leadoff batter trembled and nobody knew why. Doc Ellis smiled. When you walk in and you hit a guy, things that people shout, especially the manager, but it did not take Doc out. Doc found himself a rhythm and a crazy little spin. Amazing things would happen when Doc Ellis zeroed in. Sometimes he saw the catcher, sometimes he did not. Sometimes he held a beach ball, other times it was a dot. Doc was tossing comets that were leaving trails of glitter. In the 7th inning stretch, he still had his no-hitter. So he turns to Cash, his buddy, says, "I got a no-no going. I'm speaking the unspeakable," and he goes back out there throwing. Bottom of the 9th, and he stood high upon the mound. 3 more outs to go, and he'd have his name in Cooper's count. Cannizaro, he flied out to a loo. Then Kelly grounded out for Dean, and the shortstop yelled, "That's two." Must have been a madhouse, fans upon their feet, littler ones among them standing on their seats. Well, that would have brought up Herbal, but Speedy, old pinch hit. He took a third strike looking, and officially that was it. It was a lovely summer's morning, an off day in L.A. So thought